welcome to today's Festive Fun. So today we're going to look at our hips and our hamstrings through the backs of our legs and just give them a bit of help, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of easing out. So particularly if you find that you spend a large chunk of your day seated, they can become a bit stiff and a bit uncomfortable. So here's some things that might be able to help. So no special equipment needed, just you. Something to lean on will always help. And let's see what we can do. So start by picking up one leg, drawing it in towards you. Now, if you're comfortable to hold onto the shin to help pull the leg tight in towards you, brilliant. If your knee isn't so sure about that, you can hold behind the back of the thigh. And like I mentioned before, something to lean on is always going to make this more comfortable. So we're going to just use the hand to hold the weight of the leg and stir it round. Circular movements, both directions, trying to let the leg be heavy into our hand. So we're taking the weight of the leg and the joint using our arm. And then try the other side. Draw it in towards you. So you can do this cupping the knee and circling around, or you can hold underneath the thigh and just take the weight of the leg, moving the circles in both directions. Good. Bring the feet down to the ground. And from here, let's do some more opening movements through the hips. So again, use something to rest if you need some extra balance. You're going to take one foot up until it's alongside your calf on the other foot, or on the other leg. And you're just going to open the knee out to the side and bring it back in again. If you need to drop the foot to the floor in between each movement, that's fine. But if you can stay balanced or perhaps leaning on something, just hold here. We don't want to be swinging the body around. We're trying to keep the hips facing forwards, and we're just stretching in through the adductor muscles, hip flexors, deep tummy muscles even. Everything in and around the hips. Good. You can, if you want to come a little higher, take the foot up, but just beware of the knee joint. Try not to place any pressure onto it. Try it on the other side, see what feels good. So we can be as low as we need for balance, and we all have a different shape of hip socket. Some are deeper than others, some will have more range of motion than others. So as long as you're not forcing any movements, you're doing the right thing. So you can let the foot come down in between, or you can just keep gently going from in and out, hip bones facing forwards. Good. And then letting the foot come back down to the ground, taking a little walk on the spot. So what we can also do is to cross our legs. And as we stand, this is still lengthening through the legs, stretching across the front of the body with the front leg. From here, we want to just gently tilt our weight. So we're tipping our hips towards the outside of that front leg. So we're getting a little tiny stretch in here. Now, really useful if you have a door frame or something that you can hang on to, because you can hold on as you push your hips a little bit further. Come back into the middle, breathe out and send away. So this is very much a sideways movement. We're not trying to turn the body, we're trying to literally just push the hips away. And then come into the middle and change sides. Cross over. So it's always the front leg that we're going towards. We're going to lean towards it. So if you can, hold on the other side, push, and come back up, and push without falling over. And come back up, and then opening the feet back to their hip width apart position. Beautiful. So the other place that we want to really think about is through the tops of the hips and thighs, deep into those little hip flexors. So we're going to step our right foot back. Now, if you suffer with knee problems, you can use pillows and cushions under here to make this more comfortable and to stop you from going too deep. You can also do this from a tall standing position. You don't need to sink down into a lunge for it. So I'll show you both versions. Tall standing, hips facing forwards, thinking about the position of your lower back, your hips and your pelvis. So our default tends to be to poke the bottom out a little bit. So tilting your hips, tuck under very slightly with hips and pelvis, sending your hip bones forwards, creating some more length through the lower part of the back, stretching through that hip. So you can literally tilt and ease, tilt and ease without challenging your knees in the slightest. And the good news is you can lean onto something for balance if you need. Got a windowsill nearby, anything that you need. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can come down and kneel, and you can tilt from here and come back to level. So notice that tuck under and level. If we're not tucked under, we have loads of range. If we are tucked under, not a lot happens and we feel the stretch a lot deeper. While we're here, whether you're tall or down on the ground, we can get into the hamstrings. So we're going to push the hips back, lengthen our front leg, and if we want, we can place the hands at the very top of the thigh. We're avoiding the knee area, it doesn't want to be pressed down. But if you can, bring the hands further down towards the floor and really think about sending your bottom further back. If this means that the toes lift, that's okay. If it means that you keep them pressed into the floor, it's whatever feels better for you. If you are still in your standing position and you decided to not drop down towards the floor, all that happens from here is you shift your weight into your back leg, straightening your front leg. So we're still into that bottom pushed back position. We just haven't gone right the way down to the ground. And again, I'm avoiding my knee. I'm leaning at the top of my leg. If I can, I'm bringing my hands further towards the floor. And then we come all the way back up and try on the other side. So, stepping the foot forwards, starting with our high stance. We don't have to go all the way down. Got excited, didn't I? So, tilting and releasing for the tall stance. And when we've had enough of those little pelvic tilts working through the hip, we can then shift the weight, straighten the front leg, push the hips back. If we're going for the deeper version, we're going down to the ground, padding under the knee if we need it, making sure that the front foot is further forwards than the knee. And we're going with our little pelvic tilts and trying to gently lunge forward as much as we can to stretch into the hips. And when we've had enough of that, we can lengthen the front leg and take that little lean to wherever our hands are happy to go. Good. And then bring the leg all the way round and come back up to a stand. Fabulous. So, some people's lifetime goals are to touch their toes, and they battle and battle with it and find that they're never going to get any closer. It's a number of different things. It is flexibility and mobility through your spine. It is to do with the length and positioning of your hamstrings, but there are ways in which we can help ourselves to get down there. So let's see how we can start to progress this. So with your feet hip distance apart, tuck your chin and let the arms come and dangle down. Now, wherever you get to is great for you. If you can do this somewhere near a wall so that you are not coming too far away. So what I mean is, if you're here and you're poking your bottom out to dangle forwards, it's not quite the same. You want to be relatively close in so that you can feel if you are pushing your hips back to enable you to flop forwards. This is meaning that we're getting that movement through the back and through the hips rather than cheating. So dangling ourselves down, you might already find that your hamstrings are tight. So you might have had to soften the knees. Let gravity bring your body down, and to wherever you can hang, start to straighten one leg at a time. Little tiny stretches. And these are the sort of things that you can do each day to help the hamstrings, to help encourage the body into this lovely forward flexion movement that will help you one day get to your toes. And then from here, you can round the body all the way back up to the top and find that you've disappeared off your video. Brilliant. So, Little means and ways. You might be nowhere near your toes, but we'll get there. We're going to work on this over the next few weeks and months, and certainly through some more of our festive fun ongoing, to see if we can get you there. By Christmas, we'll have you touching your toes. Enjoy. Thanks for watching Festive Fun, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.